Imagine it's Friday evening and you've got an idea in mind. Maybe it's something you've been thinking about for a while. Maybe you've already started it. Maybe it's something that could help your team, help a new member, help a prospect, or maybe it's just an idea you've had sitting there that you keep thinking, yeah, I really should do something with that. Now imagine this weekend is different. You decide, right, I'm actually going to get this done. You've got a plan in front of you. You know what you're trying to create. You know what you need to work on next. And over the next couple of days, that idea starts turning into something real. Then Sunday night comes around, and this time, you're not still thinking about it. You've actually got something sitting there in front of you. Something finished. Something useful. Something that simply didn't exist on Friday. Now think about what that could actually be. It could be a simple guide you give to prospects. Something that answers questions you seem to get asked all the time. It could be a new member guide that helps somebody understand what to do when they first get started. Maybe it's a checklist your team can use, a little training, a planner, a useful resource you can give away, something that helps you collect names and emails. Or maybe you decide to create a small digital product of your own. It might only sell for a few pounds. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be something that needs months of work. It just needs to be useful to somebody. And that's the bit I think is really exciting. Because on Friday, it could be nothing more than an idea. By Sunday night, somebody could actually be reading it, using it, sharing it with somebody else. Maybe your team is using it. Maybe a new member is finding it useful. Maybe a prospect is reading it. Maybe somebody has even paid you a few pounds for it. Now, I'm not saying you're going to create something over one weekend and suddenly make a fortune from it. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just the fact that you've made something. You've taken an idea and turned it into something real that you can actually put in front of people. And once you start thinking about what you could create, there really are loads of possibilities. But I also know what some of you are probably thinking. Because I've done exactly the same thing myself. I've got things sitting there that I've started and never quite finished. Sometimes you just don't have the time. You start something with every intention of finishing it, then work gets busy, family stuff happens, something else needs doing. You lose an evening, then another one. You think, I'll get back to that. And then 3 weeks later, it's still sitting there. Sometimes that's genuinely all it is. Life got in the way. But there are other things that get us as well. One of the big ones is making something much bigger than it ever needed to be. You start off thinking, I'll make a little guide, then you add another section, then you think maybe it needs a workbook, maybe some videos, maybe another bonus, maybe a website, maybe this, maybe that. And before you know it, the little thing you were going to make has turned into this massive job that you haven't really got time to finish. That's scope creep, and it's so easy to do. Then you've got perfectionism. That's another one I can relate to. You do something, look at it again, change it, then change something else. Then look at it the next day and think, I'm still not sure about that. So you change it again. And obviously you want whatever you're creating to be good. Of course you do. But there's a point where trying to get something absolutely perfect can actually stop you getting it finished. And then sometimes you simply don't know what you're supposed to do next. You've got the idea. You've done a bit of work on it. Then you're thinking, right, do I finish the content now? Do I sort out the page? Do I work on how it looks? What about the emails? How am I actually going to give it to somebody? What am I supposed to be doing first? And when you've got all of those things going around in your head at the same time, it's very easy to lose momentum or just do nothing. And I think this is where having a proper system can make such a difference. Because this isn't just, here's an idea, off you go. The blueprint gives you a structure to work through, so you're not trying to think about absolutely everything at once. You're working on the part that's in front of you, get that done. Then move to the next part, then the next one. And that helps with a lot of those problems. If you tend to overthink things, you've got something telling you what to concentrate on. If you tend to make things too big, it helps bring you back to what actually needs doing now. If you're a bit of a perfectionist, you've got a reason to say, that's useful. That's good enough for version 1. Move on. And if you're sitting there thinking, what do I do next? Well, that's exactly what the structure is there for. You can always make version 2 bigger. You can always add something later. But first, you need a version 1. And I think that's an important way to look at this. You're not trying to see how much stuff you can cram into 48 hours. You're trying to take one useful idea and get it over the finish line. Now, when I say 48 hours, I don't mean sitting in front of a computer for 2 days without sleeping. Obviously not. Think of it more as a focused weekend. You've given yourself a couple of days, you've decided what you're working on, and you've got a structure helping you work through it. Some parts may take longer, some parts might take nowhere near the time you expect. It really depends on what you're creating. And you've also got AI tools now that can help speed up some of the slower parts. They can help you think through an idea, help organize an outline, help you get a first draft down, help with structure, help with emails, help with some of the wording. All of those jobs where you can sometimes spend ages just staring at a blank screen thinking, where do I even start? But you're still making the decisions. You're still deciding what sounds right, what doesn't, what belongs in there, what needs changing, what is actually useful to the person you're creating it for. So the AI can help you move quicker, but it's still your product. And the same goes for the technical side. Keep it simple. Use what you already know wherever you can. You don't need to spend the weekend learning 5 new bits of software. That would defeat the whole point. The idea here is to take complexity away, not add more of it. And the actual 48-hour process itself is pretty straightforward to understand. You start by getting clear on the idea. What are you making? Who is it for? Why would somebody actually want it? Then you create the thing itself. After that, you package it and get it looking like something you're happy to put in front of somebody. Then you think about how you're going to explain it, how people are going to get it, what follow-up you need, and how you're actually going to put it in front of people. You get everything ready, you check it works, and then you launch it. That's the overall journey. The blueprint goes into the actual detail. That's why I'm not going to sit here and go through every hour and every little job with you now. That's what I want you to use the blueprint for. Because this isn't meant to be something you download, have a quick flick through, and then forget about. It's something you can actually work from. And I think this could be particularly useful if you're already building LiveGood. Because you don't have to suddenly decide, right, now I'm going to become a digital product creator. That's not what I'm suggesting. Think about what would actually be useful in the business you're already building. What could make things easier for you? What would help somebody in your team? What could help somebody in your downline? What could make things easier for a new person coming in? What are your prospects always asking you? Could you create something that answers those questions? Could you make a little guide that somebody can read in their own time? Could you make a checklist, a starter resource, a little training? Something your team can pass around, something that gives somebody extra value before they even decide whether what you're doing is right for them? Because obviously, getting more eyeballs on your offer matters. That's probably one of the reasons you're here in the first place. But when those extra people arrive, having something genuinely useful to put in front of them can help as well. And there's another side to this that I think is quite important. Imagine you actually do it. You get to Sunday night, and you've finished your first one. Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe there are things you'll improve later. That's fine. But you've done it. You've taken something that was in your head on Friday, and now it's real. And I think something changes when you do that. Because next time you have an idea, you're not looking at it thinking, I wouldn't know how to do that. You've already done it once. You start thinking, actually, I could probably make that. And then, maybe the next one helps your team. Maybe the next one helps prospects. Maybe you make a useful bonus. Maybe you create something to build your email list. Maybe eventually you make another small paid product. You're not limited to making one particular type of thing. You're learning a process for taking useful ideas and actually getting them finished. And that's much more valuable than just creating one PDF over a weekend. Now, I also want to explain why I'm making this available to you, because I can relate to a lot of people watching this. I'm not somebody sitting here pretending I've finished every idea I've ever had. I haven't. I know what it's like trying to fit things around normal life, work, family, bills, things that need doing. And I've learned quite a lot along the way from actually building things myself, using AI, putting resources together, building pages, building funnels, trying things, getting some things right, getting some things wrong, and figuring things out as I go. So if something I've learned can save you some time, or help you finally get one of your own ideas finished, then I'd rather let you use it. And just so we're clear about what you're getting, I don't really look at this as just another free download. It's a proper premium resource. It's a full 47-page blueprint that's been put together to give you a structure you can actually work through. I'm making it available to you on a complimentary basis because you're a Live Good member. And because you're here taking a look at ways of getting more fresh eyes onto what you're already doing. So think of it more as a courtesy resource from me to you. Something that could genuinely help you build something useful around the business you've already got. And I would actually encourage you to use it. Don't just grab it, save it somewhere, and forget you ever downloaded it. Pick an idea, keep it small enough that you can actually finish it. Give yourself a weekend, and see what you can do. Because we all know what happens with, I'll do that later. Later becomes next week. Next week becomes next month, and sometimes 6 months later. The idea is still sitting there. Nothing has changed. And that's probably the biggest cost of doing nothing. It's not that something terrible happens. It's just that the thing you wanted to create still doesn't exist. Whereas one focused weekend, with a structure in front of you, could be completely different. Now, I'm making the blueprint available on a complimentary basis at the moment. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to keep doing that forever. It was created as a premium resource. And if people really like it and it's proving useful, I may well decide to turn it back into a paid product later. So if you're sitting there thinking, actually, yeah, I could use this, then grab it while the complimentary access is there. All you need to do is put your name and email address in below. You'll get access to the blueprint. Then have a proper look through it. And don't try to think of 10 things to create. Pick one. One useful thing. Something that could help you. Help your team. Help a new member. Help a prospect. Or maybe become a little product of your own. Keep it manageable. Follow the structure. And give yourself a weekend. Because another 6 months of thinking about an idea isn't going to finish it. One focused weekend just might. And just imagine that Sunday night feeling when you sit there, look at what you've made, and think, do you know what? That didn't even exist on Friday. That's what I'd like you to get out of this. So put your details in below. Grab your complimentary access to the 48-hour AI product launch blueprint. Pick your idea and see what you can turn it into.